guys, Emmy here. Today I wanted to go over something that I get asked a lot. How do you stay keto when you're traveling? Since my husband and I travel a lot, back when I first started keto, I didn't know what to do for our upcoming trip. So I sat at my desk on the computer for hours, searching the internet and looking into all the keto groups that I was in for suggestions on what kind of restaurants I should go to and what types of foods that I could eat while I was there. The problem was that all the suggestions or the keto restaurant guides that I came across listed things I wasn't willing to eat. So I was pretty much on my own when it came to learning what I should order. After hours of searching and not really finding any good answers, I figured that I would stick with the basic, like eggs, avocado, bacon, steak, and vegetables. That should be easy enough, right? Now, the time for our trip came, and I wasn't sure if there was anything at the airport for me to eat. So I ate before I left, and then I fasted for the rest of the day that we flew because we had already decided to have IHOP for breakfast because they served keto-friendly breakfast foods. So the next morning, my husband and I are sitting at a booth in IHOP, and I didn't even look at the menu because I already knew what I was going to order, right? So the waitress comes over and she takes our order. I was so proud of myself because I knew that bacon, eggs, and avocado are keto-friendly foods. So I had ordered an omelet with just these ingredients in it. I even told them not to put the hash browns on my plate so that I wouldn't be tempted to eat them. And I ordered a black coffee to drink, right? So after breakfast, we are back in our hotel room. We're getting ready to go out. It's been about an hour since we finished eating, and I myself like to check my sugar and my ketone levels to make sure that I'm staying on track. So I'm standing at the desk in our hotel room. I prick my finger. I put my blood on the little test strips for the sugar level, and then for the ketone meter. So I'm anxiously waiting the 3 seconds it takes to get my results, right? What do I see? A sugar level of 91 and a ketone reading of 0.4. I was totally shocked. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. How could my levels be so off? I mean, I only had an omelet with bacon, avocado, and a black coffee. On average, my ketone readings are 1.5 and my sugar levels are around 79. I couldn't understand what I had eaten that would make them so different. I mean, when I make my omelet at home, it's the same. I don't have this issue. So after talking with my husband, we decided that we would go back to IHOP the next morning for breakfast, right? So that I could try and figure out what happened. So the next morning, my husband and I are sitting in another booth at IHOP. Again, now this time I look through my menu, only to be totally surprised as I read the words, made with a splash of buttermilk or wheat pancake batter, in small writing on the top of the section for the omelets. I had no idea that they put pancake batter in their omelets. This had to be the reason for my readings to be so off the day before. So our waitress comes over to our table, ready to take our order, so I decided to ask her about the batter in the omelets. She tells me, yes, they do add it. It's how their omelets are so big and fluffy. Now, at this point, I'm so angry. I was angry at myself for never seeing that small writing about adding pancake batter, and I was angry at IHOP for having the writing so small in the first place. I felt like I was being tricked. Now, I'm the type of person who doesn't like to make a scene. So instead of being rude to our waitress, I bit my tongue and I asked if I could please have an omelet made from real, cracked eggs without any pancake batter added to it. She tells me that yes, I can, but it would make my omelet smaller. I tell her that's fine. Again, I asked not to have the hash browns and just a black coffee to drink. After breakfast, we go back to our hotel room, and I nervously waited for an hour to pass so that I could check my levels. Again, I'm standing at the desk, I prick my finger, I add my blood to the test strips, By now, I was impatient. It felt like the 3 minutes took a lifetime before the results showed up on the little meters. So this time, my results were so much better. My ketone was at 1.1 and my sugar was at 80. It wasn't the results I usually had, but they were so much better than they had been the day before. So after this experience, I decided that from now on, I needed to have a better understanding of what was offered in the restaurants that I was eating at, because it was so shocking to learn that something you thought was a keto-friendly dish really isn't, and it's very upsetting when you learn it the hard way by being kicked out of ketosis. So once we got home from our trip, I was still in disbelief about the pancake batter being in the omelets that I went into my keto Facebook groups to ask if anyone else had known this. Now, there were people who had been doing keto for many years that had no idea that there was pancake batter in the omelets at IHOP. I mean, they were floored. This made me even more determined to find a better way, because if people who have been doing keto for years didn't know about this, then the odds were that a lot more people could be unknowingly sabotaging themselves when they eat out. So my plan to make sure that this didn't happen to me again was to create a list of restaurants that I could eat at based off of the places that we went to, because the keto restaurant guides that I looked at before my trip had me so shocked by some of the foods it had listed on it. I mean, can you believe that there's a keto restaurant guide out there that recommends eating bread on it? I mean, how is bread a keto option? That's when I was more determined than ever to create a truly keto-friendly restaurant guide that I could use. So for each restaurant in my keto restaurant guide, I went through each item on the menu that was listed online. I looked at the ingredients and the nutrition facts, and I compiled a comprehensive list with a suggested way to order to make the dish keto-friendly. Now, I know it isn't always easy to find something keto-friendly at every restaurant, and some options will be more keto-friendly than others, but it's always better to know ahead of time if I'm eating something that might not be 100% the strict keto that I usually eat. Now, after I made this guide for myself, I decided I wanted to share it with other people like me, to make sure that you could eat out and not have to go through the same troubles that I did when traveling while trying to stay keto. So let me know how you stay keto when you eat out. Now, I'll see you next time. Bye.